So, hey y'all. I was literally just about to obviously get under the blanket. Well, not obviously, but I was about to just get under the blanket. And I thought I would record this video because I had a moment. Um, I do understand it's been less than a week since my mom passed, or depending on how you count the days, she passed at 10:05 on Wednesday, October 27th, and it is currently 12:52 a.m. on Wednesday, November 3rd. So it's right at a week. And I do understand that I can't expect to be okay in any way, shape, or form at this point. So today we did some packing up of her apartment. I think I told you guys that she had never lived on her own before. So she wanted to have the experience of living on her own. And she was only here a few weeks in her apartment, but I'm glad she had that experience. And I think I mentioned too that a year ago, there was one test that came up weird that showed that she had an elevated liver enzyme called alkaline phosphate. And that, her doctor said, could indicate something going on with her liver itself or in the bones, like with her bone marrow. And so that was the only indication that there was an issue. And by the time they, saw the cancer this time, it was already, in her brain and had already, metastasized in her bones. And I believe it was around her heart and everything as well. So, and I apologize if I'm ashy. I just washed up for bed and I was like, you know what? I want to go ahead and record this video. So forgive my, bedtime appearance. But anyway, it'll get better. Hopefully I'll get to a point where I do again care what I look like. Anyway, I thought about it and I was like, if she had been aware, like if they had caught this earlier, if they had known that the cancer had come back a year ago, what would that have looked like for my mom? Would she have done chemo to try and kill it? Would she have done radiation? Would she have had, and if she did, if that was an option at the time, and she did do chemo, and she did do radiation, and she did do, whatever other treatments they threw at her, what would her quality of life have been like? Yeah, today we worked on the obituary and we cleaned out, we, packed up some of her apartment and some space in my sister's house. We cleaned out so that some of the things could go back there. And we were looking at pictures on the computer. And I don't know if you guys know anything about Virginia, but there's a place called Luray Caverns. And they have mountains. I know, you can go inside of the mountain and see like the formations of stalactites and the stalagmites and, these different formations and such. And I hadn't been there in so long. My sisters were planning, because they both lived in Virginia, and they were going to go on vacation. So they asked me to come stay with mommy for the week. And that was going to be the second week of October. We were going to do that. And so she and I were planning a trip to Luray Caverns, just like an overnight weekend trip to Luray Caverns. And I was so excited about being able to do it. And she had said she was looking forward to it. And when she was in the hospital during that time, I felt like that was an experience that we missed out, or that she missed out on. I could still go, but with her being, having passed, I'm like, now she can't go to Luray Caverns. And some of the pictures that we looked at were her and my sisters having gone to Luray Caverns sometime last year. And I felt such a sense of relief, like she didn't miss out on that. She was able to do it. And like I said, if she had known that she had cancer a year ago, that may be something that she would not have been able to do. If she was going through chemo or radiation or some other type of treatment, or if she was feeling like garbage, I saw pictures of her in the mountains picking apples and, different parties that she had been to with her friends, and thought about trips that she had taken with her friends, and just these experiences that she was able to have last year. And she told me about them, because like I said, we talked every day and I knew, but it was like being reminded that she did go to Luray Caverns and, seeing the pictures of how much she enjoyed it and how strong she was at the time, because by the time we were going to go, in October, she was, she was weak, and we didn't know she was weak because of the cancer having come back. So I'm glad she was able to enjoy those experiences, and that made me feel a whole lot better. But the thing that made me record this video was that through most of the day I was fine. Of course, getting through the obituary and such was a bit challenging. Looking at the pictures, we had some laughs and some moments, but it was mostly very positive. And then even cleaning out the house and packing up stuff in the apartment, it was like just kind of get her done mode. But leaving my sister's house, heading back to my mom's empty apartment, seeing her room empty, even driving from my sister's house, because my mom and I talked, like I said, on the phone all the time because I was living out of state. And our time to talk was as I was traveling between locations. So if I got in the car heading to work, I called my mom. Heading home, I called my mom. Heading out with friends, I called my mom. Heading to play poker, I called my mom. Like, we just talked all the time. And today, leaving my sister's house, I tried to call a friend of mine who didn't answer, which is, I understand, people are busy, I get it. Not anything against her in any way. But it was just in that moment, this overwhelming feeling of loneliness just washed over me. And I just started talking out loud to my mom in the car, telling her about the day, telling her how much I miss her. And I started to feel a little bit better. Like I said, it's only been a week, or almost a week. So it seems reasonable that I would still, I'm obviously going to be crying and missing her forever. But I know there's going to come a point where I can get through a day without ending like this. I know there's going to be a day that I have someone to call when I get in the car, and that I have that last text, I'm home safely, at the end of the night. But just in that moment, I was like, I just felt so alone. In that moment, I said I'm going to record this video when I get back to the house. Honestly, I did not intend to fully tie my head up. And yes, I do understand that I could take the bonnet off and take the scarf off. I get that. But it is what it is. Okay, people, just, bear with me. But the thing that made me decide to go ahead and record the video anyway is because I made a commitment to myself that I would chronicle my journey through this grief and the journey as I rebuild my life. And this was something that happened today. I didn't intend to record every day, and I don't think that I necessarily will. But I wanted to point this out because I made it through the day, even the hard parts of the day, as far as writing out the obituary for the newspaper, choosing a picture for the program, for her memorial service, and so on and so forth. And it was like I got through most of the day, and then at the end, that loneliness hit, and I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that I chronicle this and remind myself that one day that loneliness won't hit. How long did it take for you to get through a day and not feel that twinge? You know what I mean? I still feel her around me. Like I said, I talked to her in the car, but just there was that momentary loneliness and knowing that I was coming back to her apartment where she wouldn't be. And obviously I've done that the whole time I've been here. Other than the 2 weeks that she was in hospice here, the whole time, anytime I leave the apartment, I come back knowing that I'm coming to an empty apartment, her apartment that she's not in. So, but whatever reason today, it just hit differently. And I was talking to my friend, she grew up in, I can't remember exactly which country, but I know it's a Latin American country. And she observes Day of the Dead. And I'll tell you, another time, but I never really was big on holidays growing up. We never really did holidays growing up. So I don't know much about different customs and celebrations. But she was explaining to me, about Day of the Dead and how, Halloween time and this time of year, the veil, as she explained it, the veil between, or the curtain between the spirit world and the living, physical, fleshly world is thin or removed. And so the spirits can travel back and forth. And my mom passing so close to that time, I've been saying I still feel connected to her. I still feel her around me. I still feel her as a part of me. I don't feel like, there's been a disconnect. And, she's like, I asked her if it's because of the time of year or if it's just because I'm still in her stuff, around her stuff. I'm still in her apartment. It's still so new. And she's like, it's probably a combination of all of it. So I guess we'll see what happens when I get back to Colorado. But I just really hope she stays close because, man, this is rough. But anyway, I just intended to record a really quick video just to share that little piece. And like I said, I don't intend to record every day. It's just that I wanted to put that or to chronicle that and let you guys know because I want to be transparent. I want you to see the whole, all the stages that I'm going through, and hopefully there'll be some, you guys can offer encouragement. You can, I don't know, virtual hugs are always accepted, so well, anyway, like I said, it was 12:50 something when I started. It is now 1:06 a.m. So I'm going to try to get some sleep because they're going to be coming tomorrow to move the furniture, the big stuff out of the house. So I'm going to be needing to help with that. So I'm going to get some rest and I will check in with you guys soon. Hope things are going well for you. And please keep me in your thoughts to be able to get through this. So any encouragement you can offer in the comments, I will read them all. All right, good night.